is to actually break up your portfolio into initiatives that are about running the business, initiatives that are about differentiating the business, and initiatives that are about innovating the business.
Hi, welcome to CIO. I'm here with Francis Karamousiz. She's the Vice President and Distinguished Analyst with Gartner, Inc. Welcome, Francis.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So I want to talk to you about adaptive sourcing. It was something you were talking about, adaptive sourcing for the digital enterprise. What is that?
So adaptive sourcing is the act of sort of sourcing the services you need in order to enable all the hardware, the software, the applications, and the IT that you purchase. Now, the reason we're calling it adaptive sourcing, because in the old world, what would happen is you were building applications, you were building sourcing strategies to last. So this notion of build to last. What we're now talking about is you need to build to adapt. So it's sort of a shift in thinking, a shift in approach, and really a shift in time horizons of how you sort of plan and deal with the business dynamics.
And this isn't just an idea. You've talked about two areas: renovate the core and exploit the new. So this is two key areas that this adaptive sourcing serves. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, Gartner's been running a study with CIOs for the last 11 years. And typically we ask them to stack rank what they're going to be, what their priorities are, what their spending is. This particular year, instead of just getting a fairly clear sort of pulse on exactly what they were doing, what we saw is a very interesting pattern, that there's a dual mandate. This dual mandate, or these two concurrent things that they need to do, is spend money on renovating the core, which is all the foundational systems, the run the business systems, the lights on sort of systems around infrastructure, around applications. And concurrent to that, which is quite hard, is to exploit the new, meaning help the organization embrace the new digital world, and more importantly, create new revenue streams. And that also has a lot of IT enablement that's required. And so this adaptive sourcing approach is the ability to think about those two things in two different modes. Because one is about volume, renovate the core and run the business. It's all about all the volume, all the devices, all the people you need to connect to your enterprise, and all the data, all the big data that's being collected. And exploit the new is really more about velocity. And the velocity of not just completing an IT project, which is always about doing it on time, on budget, and on target or on scope. Velocity is, and differentiating and exploiting the new is really about fast failure. And IT never really thought about failure. You're always told to do it and get it done right. No one ever tells you to fail. And so adaptive sourcing is really thinking about two different modes of sourcing, two different modes of approaching how you're going to enable the organization.
My experience has been that we tend to have one vanilla sourcing strategy or one process, and you're saying, wait a minute, there are two.
Yes, what we've actually said is this one holistic approach to sourcing is kind of now not really working. So what we're actually saying is adaptive sourcing is the new sort of model that Gartner has unveiled sort of in the last probably year or so. And the mandate is this dual sort of strategy. The actual model itself has three components, which is run, differentiate, and innovate. And it's really sort of saying that instead of thinking it as one vanilla or one big sort of holistic sourcing strategy, is to actually break up your portfolio into initiatives that are about running the business, initiatives that are about differentiating the business, and initiatives that are about innovating the business. And therefore, you want to operate a different sourcing strategy in each of those modes. And the one that's around run the business, again, is about volume, it's about predictability, it's about all the stuff that you need on a day-to-day basis to run the enterprise. Differentiate and innovate is about this notion of velocity, this notion of fast failure, this notion of small waves that are going to create some innovation. Some waves are going to hit big, and some are actually going to sort of peter out, and it's technology that you may have piloted but decided not to use.